8 News at 5 starts now.
Physicians, especially pediatricians all across the country, are faced with a dilemma. It may impact you and your family this flu season. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Ferrick.
I'm Amy Lacey. Here's the problem. Doctors are faced with a shortage of flu mist.
All right, news reporter Jonathan Costin has more on what this means for your loved ones.
Where's the mist, Anne-Marie?
Flu season in Richmond runs usually from December through March. Sometimes it starts a little early.
The refrigerator is full.
So how many more do we have?
And right now, there's enough of flu shots and flu mist available at Dr. David Arkin's office.
Here's an alert that my flu shot, the next shipment is coming.
But the pediatrician says right now there's a shortage across the country for the mist, and doctors don't know how bad this shortage is going to be.
The company has been very closed-mouthed about it. We know that they lost at least 15% of their inventory because the vaccine was too potent, too powerful. I don't know if there are any side effects from that, but the FDA would not release it.
So if you're a parent wondering what you should do, imagine what physicians are up against.
The doctors are in a quandary across the country. Nobody knows if they should be ordering more flu shots. Nobody knows how much of the flu mist they're going to get. It's a difficult situation, and I don't have a solution for it.
So moms and dads, if your child prefers the mist over the shot, Dr. Arkin has this advice.
People who especially have a preference for the flu mist should try and get in a little earlier, probably this year, before the doctors start running out of it.
Well, I heard the debate in the newsroom, which is better, the mist or the shot? Well, Dr. Arkin says it's really a personal preference. The mist may last a little bit longer, but the shot may be more effective for older kids, especially teens. In a nutshell, they are both better than nothing at all. Jonathan Costin, 8 News.
All right, Jonathan. Meanwhile, the health department does not start monitoring cases of the flu across the country until this weekend. But last week, we did check in with doctors. They tell us they are already starting to see patients with the flu.
Just in, Appeals has granted Maureen McDonald's request to delay her appeal. Mrs. McDonald wants the delay until the Supreme Court decides her husband, former Governor Bob McDonnell's case. Prosecutors opposed her request because they say the public has significant interest in the resolution of her case. The McDonalds were both convicted of corruption last year. Both remain free on appeal. Meanwhile, Bob McDonnell has officially asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review his public corruption convictions. His attorneys argue he was convicted based on an overly broad definition of corruption that puts all elected officials at risk of prosecution. Prosecutors have 30 days to respond. The justices have no deadline for whether they'll consider the appeal.
The latest on Vote 2016, Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump is here in Richmond.
Doors just opened up at the Richmond Raceway Complex, and that's where we find 8 News reporter Parker Slabaugh. Parker?
Yeah, hey, Christina and Amy, good afternoon to you. Doors open here any minute right now. We're expecting this room to fill with Trump supporters. Now, I did reach out to the racetrack earlier today. They tell me this exhibition hall that we're standing in right now holds 5,000 people, but they say the Trump campaign has passed out well over 5,000 tickets. They say just because you have a ticket may not guarantee admission into the room today, but of course they don't expect everyone that has a ticket to show up. Now, many people wondering what Mr. Trump may talk about when he takes the stage in just about 2 hours. Well, if his earlier interviews give any indication, we expect him to speak heavily on the Democrat debate from last night on Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. But of course, what will his speech bring? It still remains to be seen. We'll have much more coming up tonight on 8 News at 6 o'clock, and then of course a full recap tonight at 11. Reporting live in Henrico County tonight, Parker Slabaugh, 8 News.
And Parker just mentioned it. They came, they saw, they debated. The first Democratic debate at the 2016 presidential campaign is now in the books. Hillary Clinton came into last night's CNN debate as the front runner, and many say that did not change. Her main challenger, Bernie Sanders, came out of the debate the way he went into, a strong runner-up representing the party's far left. All eyes are still on Vice President Joe Biden. Will he or won't he enter the race? We'll have a full report ahead in our next half hour.
Here at home, a former Meadowbrook High School football coach will have to wait a little longer for his day in court. Kedrick Moody was supposed to stand trial today for assault, but his trial was continued. Moody's accused of attacking 2 people at a motel earlier this year. Court documents show one of the alleged victims suffered a concussion, broken bones in his face, and lost 3 teeth. The other was not seriously hurt. A Pulaski County couple is indicted on charges of felony abuse and neglect stemming from their 5-year-old son's death. Noah Thomas was found dead in a septic tank in March. Police say Paul Thomas and Ashley White left Noah and his little sister home alone. Officials say Noah drowned and had hypothermia. The couple also faces charges related to the care of their daughter.
News where you live in Richmond. A fire rips through a fan apartment. This is at Idlewood Avenue and Meadow Street. Fire crews found smoke and flames shooting from the back of this two-story apartment building. Luckily, no one was hurt. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Also in Richmond, Tamara Harris pled guilty to shooting a Richmond police officer. Officer William Turner was shot back in January while responding to a call for a man in emotional distress. Harris was originally charged with attempted capital murder, but that charge was reduced to aggravated malicious wounding as part of the plea deal. Harris will be sentenced January 12th.
A landmark lawsuit in Wisconsin. A gun store is found liable in the shooting of two police officers that left them physically and emotionally scarred. Officers Brian Norberg and Graham Kunis shot in the face following this 2009 altercation with suspect Julius Burton. He was 18 at the time, which was too young to buy a gun. Video shows another man illegally purchasing the pistol for him at the Milwaukee gun store. That man even admitted on the form that the gun was for someone else. The store's owners now being held financially responsible for the outcome of the sale.
I didn't want to send a message around the country. What I wanted to do is represent my two clients, these two Milwaukee police officers. And if some gun dealers around the country realize that they may have their feet held to the fire because of the punitive damage award here, then that's a bonus.
All right, News anchor Ava Joy Burnett is taking a closer look at this case coming up on 8 News at 6.
A multi-million-dollar lawsuit is filed following the El Faro sinking. The freighter sank during Hurricane Joaquin earlier this month, killing all 33 people on board. Today, the family of one of the sailors filed a $100 million lawsuit against El Faro's owner and captain. The suit alleges they were negligent, choosing to sail a 41-year-old cargo ship into dangerous weather.
And they're seeking justice, not just the money. They want to get to the bottom. They don't want this shoved under the rug, and it won't be.
The NTSB is now investigating. The FBI is warning students about a popular phone scam. Students have been getting calls from fake FBI numbers. The voice on the other end says they'll be arrested if they don't pay thousands in overdue loans or parking tickets. This latest round of scams is at Old Dominion University. Remember, the FBI will not call you and demand payment.
The ACLU of Virginia is now getting involved in the debate over Christiansburg High School's ban on Confederate flag symbols on school property. Last month, more than 20 students were suspended after wearing Confederate flags on their clothing. The school's dress code bans the flag because it's considered offensive. Vehicles with Confederate symbols have also been barred from the school parking lot. The ACLU sent the principal a letter yesterday saying the school must carefully review policies that limit student free speech. And quote, even if the school has reason to believe that display of the Confederate flag on clothing is likely to cause a substantial disruption, it might not have reason to believe that display of the flag on vehicles in the parking lot would cause a similar disruption, end quote.
Controversial plans to build a Dollar General store are the focus of a public meeting that kicks off in an hour. The store is slated to be built on Mountain Road. That's across the street from the Glen Allen Market. Nearby homeowners, though, have started a Facebook page and a petition against that proposal. Tonight's meeting is being held at 6 o'clock inside the Cultural Arts Center at Glen Allen.
ESPN has released its ultimate standings list. The annual report ranks all Major League Professional Sports franchises, and they did not hold back. 8 Sports anchor Chip Riera is standing by now with that new information. Chip?
Well, Amy, the final rankings for this year's ESPN Ultimate Standings put the Washington, D.C. Football Club the farthest from the top. Yes, the Washington Redskins team was ranked 120th out of 122 possible franchises in North America. That's worse than the other 3 major franchises in the nation's capital. Nationals baseball at 41st, Capitals hockey at 55, and Wizards basketball at 63. That's nearly double the distance from the next to last spot in the Washington area for the Redskins. Factors that determine the rankings are a combination of competitiveness, management, and fan experience. The stadium experience at FedEx Field alone brought the overall package down, ranked worst at 119th. Not only is it surprising that the Washington Redskins, a proud, historic NFL franchise, is so low, it's that all the other franchises are so far ahead of them currently. One could also say the inconsistency of the Redskins on the field have had a direct effect on fan experience. But despite the Nationals missing the playoffs after having World Series aspirations, they were still top dog in D.C. For 8 Sports, I'm Chip Riere.
All right, Chip. Well, the James River Association says the river's overall health has improved to a B-. That's up from 2013. That grade was a C+. The group says it's seen tremendous progress since being called one of the most polluted in the nation. Former NBA star Lamar Odom remains hospitalized tonight. What we've learned about his condition and those who are now by his hospital bedside.
Plus, do you dread Mondays? Really, really dread them? We'll have some ways that could help your week get off to a better start. Katie?
And so much sunshine. I feel like I'm experiencing a little case of deja vu with this forecast. Seems pretty similar, clear and dry skies, but we do have some changes coming starting really tomorrow, but heading into our weekend. Details coming up.
You're watching 8 News at 5, covering the news where you live.
We're covering the news today from Powhatan County to Parham Road in the West End. Stay with us. 8 News at 5 is back in just a moment.
Are you ready? Some big changes coming to your Facebook timeline when it involves that time hop feature.
Yeah, sometimes there are memories you want to remember, others maybe not so much. So now you might not have to see all of them. We have the latest on the change tomorrow morning on Good Morning Richmond.